says she running away.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are renovating my second bathroom, and this renovation came about because this bathroom had a leak that started leaking down into my living room. That's how we found out it had a leak, when we saw the stain on the ceiling in the living room. So we fixed that, and I decided, let me just go ahead and renovate it since it has been on the schedule for a few years now. So today I have my son working with me, and basically here we're discussing how we're going to lay this floor and what needs to happen. So we went through everything, and then you're going to see us laying the floor. So guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a comment, share my content, and remember to hit that like button. So here we go. After our little meeting, we are about to lay this floor. So for those of you who probably want to do a DIY and have no clue, it's not as hard as you think. The only hard part was at the toilet area. But when you're laying the floor, especially if your home is a wood structure, your walls are not straight. Do not use your walls to try to get a straight line or anything. Your walls are not straight. Wood structure walls are not straight. Please do not use the walls. What we did is we wanted to start from, if the room was big enough to start from the middle of the floor and find a straight line, we would have, but it's not. So what we're doing is, yes, we're starting against the wall, but we're not using the wall to see if our floor is straight. So as you go up from the door up to where the tub is at, the flooring actually pivots off like 1/8 of an inch. Because we kept the floor straight because we knew the wall is not straight. So don't ever use your wall to try to say, oh, I'm gonna have a straight line. By the time you get over to the other wall where you're finishing, you're gonna see your floor is off, and you would have to cut the flooring in an angle because some of it won't fit, instead of you having a straight line to cut when you're finished. Okay, so never use your wall, especially if you live in a concrete if you live in a wood structure. Do not use that to try to catch a level. This floor is a vinyl floor, and it comes with a pad attached. It is a waterproof floor and recommended for bathrooms. Now it's pretty easy to cut it. You just need a box cutter. You stroke it about 3-4 times, and then you basically just hit it where the crack is at, and it will separate. So that's how easy this floor was to install. Another thing is you want to at least be a quarter in your joints. You don't want 1/3 of your joints. You don't want joints to be too close to each other. The floor can unlock. This is a floating floor, and it's going on top of plywood. So you don't want the joints can unlock because you're not sticking this down. This floor cannot stick down because it has the pad underneath. It is a floating floor. And a way to save. So here's a great tip. When you're laying the floor, lay one straight layer first. When you get to the end of that layer, you should be cutting a piece off. You would take the piece that left back, and that's what you would start your next row with. This would help you to alleviate having too much wastage, because each piece is usable. Okay, so you would take the piece that's left over, you would start back with, go make your straight round again, and when you come back, you should be starting back again with one full plank to go up again, cut, come down, start. So it should skip. It's like you're reversing it each time you're laying a row. Okay, as you can see, he put a full piece in there versus a cut piece. So now next to that is going to have another cut piece. And you cannot do this project, you cannot lay a floor without having a mallet. If you do not have a mallet, go and get a mallet before attempting to lay this floor. Pounding it with your fist is not going to work. Using a hammer can damage the floor. Go get a mallet and come back and start this job. So this floor, the reason why I selected to put this color floor in, because the flooring, the other LVT that I have throughout my house is this color. So basically I took a piece of that, I went to Floor and Decor, and I walked around the store matching that back until I found something that matched perfect. And this was the best match to that. So there is a clean flow when your eyes are going from in the hallway into the bathroom. So because this flooring is vinyl flooring, it is thinner than my laminate flooring that I have in my hallway. So there will be a transition strip leading from, separating both floors, because there is a drop in terms of level. So you want to put a strip in between the transition so that it can be smoother and you don't have the bumping of the toes or the floor being lifted up when that happens. And plus you need to seal all those entry points to go under that floor anyway. So here you would notice that we started over because the floors lock on top each other. So because we turned the floor the way we did, the lock piece was up on the top. So when we're trying to lock it from starting from down by the door go up, they were not locking. So that's why you would see like they were coming apart and he had to keep going back after them over and over. So we had to start from up by the tub because the way we turned our first plank. So always remember that you put it on top of it to lock it. It doesn't knock it in like my laminate floor did. So once we realized what was going wrong, we was trying to figure out why it's not locking. Once we figured that out, everything went super fast. So this process started to go really fast because it was two of us working on it. So I started to do cutting and he was laying the floor. So by the time he was ready for a floor, I had one for him. Especially when you're cutting around the toilet, I did that because I have more of a precise hand in terms of cutting. So I can like cut freehand very good. So my son was like, yeah, you go ahead and do that part. You're better with that. Again, this floor, you can't nail it down. The nails does not, we tried to put some nails on the first row, even though I knew it may not work, but we tried to put some nails on the first row to keep it from moving. But this floor, it doesn't take the nails will go straight through it. So I had to actually stand on it sometimes when he's trying to lock a piece so it could stop moving. Because again, this is a floating floor. Our walls are not straight. You have to leave it at least an eighth or so, quarter inch off of the wall anyways. So that would make the floor still be movable. So, you can stand on it to try while the other person tries to put it in. But yeah, this was not hard at all. And to lock the floors was pretty easy once you got it. So guys, we're starting to cut around the toilet and I am going to show you, I have to cut that little piece off. So basically, of course, it's a curved piece, so it has to be done freehand. So as you can see, I am going to score it about 4 times. And then because that's such a small piece, hitting it with the mallet is not going to break it. So I'm using a beak nose pliers to basically bend it down. And you want to get to as close to where you scored to break off that little piece. So you're going to see me do that in a second. I would advise anyone to get a good box cutter. That one was not a good one, so I did have to score it more than needed. So a good box cutter is needed for this job. And then after you do that, of course, now I'm cutting through, because when you're scoring it, you're not getting the pattern, the black pattern that's underneath. So you just need to cut that off after you're finished breaking it down. Okay? And sometimes, you know, even though you cut it, you're gonna have to. So it worked, but it was a little too long, so I cut from the other end versus cutting that more. So what we came up with was to use a cardboard. So we got the cardboard, which is the same width of each plank. We forced it under the toilet, held the pen, the marker pretty like straight, and let the marker roll around the toilet, and it will create the pattern that you need to cut out. As you can see, when I place the cardboard down, it's right next to the other plank, but leaving that gray part out, because that's the part that's going to lock into the next one. So when I drop this template on top of the actual plank, I know I'm putting it right to the edge of the brown is where that measurement is going to start to cut that piece out. So this made it pretty easy to cut this curve, because you know cutting around a toilet is not nice. So here I am using the marker to mark out my what I need to cut off from, you know, based on the template that I made. And I would always say to check 3-4 times that when you're doing cuts like this, that you are cutting the right side. So here's where is the trick. You put the marker flat against the toilet, and when you bring it around, it's going to make the mark on the plank where it needs to be cut. Okay, so basically that was it, installing the floor. After that, I put the quarter rounds in. I nailed the quarter rounds in, and the floor is finished. So basically that was it. The hardest part was around the toilet. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to change out the countertop. So stay tuned for the next video. You're going to see us change the countertop out. It's going to be a new countertop, new sink, new faucet. You're going to see us do the plumbing. And then after that, you're going to see us doing some painting. So we're going to paint the walls, paint the vanity and everything. So we're going to be removing this from over the toilet. She's going to get some glass shelves that's going to go over the toilet, trying to keep a clean look. In the bathroom, we're painting the walls a different color, and for the that toilet paper holder, that's going to go away. Around the mirror, we're going to add a frame around it to make it more decorative, and again, we're adding a new vanity light. So you'll see that on the next video, guys. Thank you for watching, and look out for part 2 of this bathroom renovation. Thank you and bye.